for the Culture Podcast. We are happy to have the one and only Mike Oz here, the man of the hour, the man that, of course, brought great food to the Valley, to the Central Valley as a whole.
I didn't bring it. I just showed people where to go get it.
There you go, man. And at the end of the day, shit, we all need traffic control, right? Without that, PD, some of those officers wouldn't have a job. And so man, we appreciate you, Mike, for coming on today.
Appreciate you guys having me, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. And if possible, Mike, we all always want to start off, or if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, and if you're from Fresno, what's your zip code you rep at?
Well, I'm not originally from Fresno. I'm from the Bay Area originally.
Okay.
Fremont, California is where I grew up.
We got the Bay in the house.
Yeah, went to San Jose State. Ended up here. I got a job here to work at the Fresno Bee.
Yes, sir.
So I moved here when I was 22, and now I've been here more than half my life. So
Wow.
I'm
So you from Fresno?
I'm official, man. Yeah, well, got had kids, raised them here.
Yes, sir.
Got a 559 phone number.
Oh,
Like
that's what's up. That's what's
I'm
up.
here, man. That was the day when it was like when I had to change the phone number to 559. I was like, well, no, this is
Right.
home now. And
what was it back then? When you
originally I was 510.
510. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you 100% Bay Area.
But when I was a kid, this is how old I am. When I was a kid, it was all 415. And the 510 came during my lifetime. So
Right.
that's how old I am. Yeah. But yeah, no, I changed to the 559, and I feel like I've been here ever since. And so many people in my family have followed me here. Yeah, like my dad,
I
my
would have
sister.
followed you too with the trucks you got.
I think that like Bay Area, it's hard to live out there, man. So
Right.
a lot of
True.
the family came out here, and we've
You created your own world, your own community.
Yeah, I guess, man. It's
That's
nice to have.
amazing.
I mean, I moved out here by myself, right? So I didn't have anybody.
Right.
And it's interesting, I obviously it's funny when I moved here, I met like a lot of really cool people the very first weekend. I can point back to the first weekend I was in Fresno, and I met
Right out of college.
Yeah. No, the Bee hired me before I even graduated, and
Okay.
they held my job for like 2 months,
Okay.
and so I graduated and I moved here a couple days later, and some of my people that I mean, the first weekend I met. I don't know if you guys probably know these people, like Sam from FTK.
Yes.
Hectic, who did Grizzly Fest and managed Diego Red,
Right.
Fashion. Like I met those dudes like the first weekend I was in Fresno.
Wow.
And
that's amazing.
Yeah, and just it's crazy to
It
see.
grew from there.
Yeah.
I mean, so you worked with some of the greats at the Fresno Bee, some of the legends.
I mean, I think part of what I was doing at the Fresno Bee though was they just let me come in and just they wanted. I was 22, right? And they're like, yeah, just go write about whatever you want to write about.
Right.
And so they let me just run wild with my point of view. So it was like. When I came to Fresno originally, I knew about two things. There's two things I knew about Fresno.
Yes, sir.
Three. Planet Asia was the first one. I was like, my number one goal is I'm gonna go
Shout out to Planet.
go to Fresno Bee and write about Planet Asia, and I put them on the front page A1 of the Fresno Bee. I was proud of that.
Wow.
And Courtney Alexander, like those are the two things at that era, because Courtney Alexander was like
another legend.
It's dope, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was at San Jose State, and we'd be like, oh, Fresno State, they got Tark, they got Courtney Alexander, So those are the things I knew about Fresno before I came here. Didn't know about the tacos, didn't know about any of that stuff, but stuff I came to learn about.
Right. Wow, man, that's amazing, man. Just coming in, being a writer. So you knew all along that you were into journalism, man. What age did you realize you were right? Fifth grade.
Yeah.
Man, and you of course was into sports. You knew that was your niche.
Yeah, I wanted to do sports, but when I came to the Bee, they didn't want to give me, or they didn't have a sports job.
Okay.
So they're like, hey, do you want to write about music? And
interesting.
I interned at the Bee in sports.
Okay.
And then they two years later they had a job opening to cover music. And the summer I interned at the Bee was summer 2000, and it was when the Up in Smoke tour came.
Yes, sir.
And Eminem was here and all that.
Way back.
Yeah. So they're like, hey, do you want to write about this?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, no. And so I wrote that, and they had me write another like entertainment story when I was there.
Yes, sir.
And so those kind of things. And here's my job 101 thing. Anybody who has an internship anywhere, like whatever it is your job is, look elsewhere in the company and see how else can I help out.
Yes.
Because that's how I got my job. Because I just said, can I do something else?
Right.
How can I help some other people? And I made such a good impression on that I got a job from that part, right?
Wow.
So if if you're a kid or you're in college or whatever you're doing and you're interning, let's say you're interning in graphic design,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Go and be like, hey, how else can I help this company? Because you never know.
Mike dropping gems. He is so right, man. That's actually how I made it.
So they brought me back to do that, and that's I was just they're like, yeah, go. You don't got to keep normal hours. Just go do whatever you want to do. And
Right.
I would just go out every night and just kind of see what was going on in the
Yeah,
city and
you was
put it
out
put
there.
it in the paper. You know.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
then from there, you transitioned to Yahoo.
Back into sports. Yeah. At some
Okay.
point, it was like I had the opportunity to go there, and I was like, man, I love the Fresno Bee
Right.
legitimately, and I loved what I was doing. But like, covering baseball and all that had been my dream since I was a kid. So
Yes,
I was
sir.
like, gotta go do it.
Man, so how did they recruit you?
So the one of my good friends is Jeff Passan,
Okay.
who he's like he is the MLB insider guy for ESPN.
Okay.
So he's like the Adam Schefter for baseball, right?
Wow.
And so, but he worked at the Fresno Bee with me when we both fresh out of college, and he got a job in sports. I got a job, what I was doing, and we just became friends. We were going to be roommates, and then he got another job and moved, and we just kind of stayed in touch. He worked at Yahoo after that before he
Okay.
went to ESPN, and he was like, just hey, we're looking for somebody. I think
I
you'd
need
be
a
good.
wingman.
Yeah, so he brought me over.
Wow. And you enjoyed it.
I did, man. Like it
Man,
was
that's amazing.
I mean, dream come true, right? Like as much as I loved everything I was doing in Fresno, it was like, you get to go to the All Star game, you get to go to the World
Right.
Series, you get to go and do all these big sports
Yes,
things, and
sir.
couldn't ask for more.
Man, and it's always good when you're able to live your dream out,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
it's
you wake up feeling good, you wake up looking forward to it, you're always energized, and it's like a battery.
but the thing about my story that I'll say too is like now I'm living a dream that I didn't even know existed, right?
Right,
Like there's a whole
right,
nother thing that I never even wanted to do that
right.
I'm doing now, and I think it takes those steps sometimes. Sometimes you have in your brain like, oh, this is the thing that I want to do,
Yes,
and you're not even thinking about some other thing.
right.
And then as you get older, you're like, oh, well, there's this and there's that, and then opportunities present themselves, and
True.
you like in my case, I look back at stuff that I did when my grandpa was an entrepreneur, and
Okay.
he had a motor shop, and
In
almost
the
my
Bay Area.
in the Bay Area, yeah, and almost my whole family worked in the motor shop, and I remember working there when I was like 12, and I was just like, what can I do? And
Yes,
so he
sir.
had me sweeping and shredding papers and like but they would just give me all this stuff to do, and it's wild that when I became an entrepreneur is when I look back at all the stuff I was doing when I was like 15, 16 years old, remembering like how my grandpa ran his business
Right.
and like all these things. And I was like, man, I had kind of a boot camp
Yes, sir.
on running your own business, and I didn't even know it,
That's
because I wasn't even
amazing.
aware of that when I was, 14, 15,
That you were
16
being
years old.
prepared
Yeah.
for that day to come.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that is something else. Now, you also went through Yahoo. You decided. Now, was it while you were at Yahoo that you decided to do the baseball card series?
Yeah. So that was while I was at Yahoo.
Okay.
And basically the idea was I don't like to do anything that just everybody else does.
Right.
Right. So, you know,
You definitely think outside the box, because I mean,
I mean, in the internet though, you have to, right? Like when you're doing things for the internet and in sports specifically, I was like, you can't just go because baseball's boring enough as it is.
yes.
So you can't go in there and just be like, how you think the Cubs are going to do this year? What's your
Right.
chances of winning the World Series? Nobody wants to hear that,
Right.
right? I mean,
Right.
some the hardcore fans do, but I mean, if you're going to stand out on the internet, especially at that time, it's like you got to be doing something different.
True.
So this is probably Hot Ones probably existed before we did. Sneaker shopping was probably around that same time, but it's the same kind of idea, right? Is like you just go and do something with somebody,
Correct.
and then you see more of their personality in that than you do sitting around asking them questions.
Right.
So
Man, visionary.
what we decided to do, I was like, well, how do we go to like MLB spring training, for instance, and create a thing that we can do,
Yes.
knowing that we don't get a whole lot of time. We just walk into a clubhouse and people are, they're there to do their batting practice and their drills and all that. And you
Right.
get, I mean, maybe 10 minutes,
If that.
but that's for everybody gets, like
Okay.
so and so person is available for 10 minutes. Okay. How can we get them for 5 minutes to do our little thing? So I ran through all these different ideas and I was like, well, we could do this, but no, we'd have to bring a TV, or we'd have to bring a video game
Yes.
console, or we'd have to bring a board game, and all that stuff's weird. I was like, what can I have that just fits in my pocket? And I was like, a pack of baseball cards. Like if you just have a pack of baseball cards, we can just carry it around
Correct.
and hey, let's open these cards. And that's all you need to do.
Wow.
So that's sort of how we landed
almost
on that.
similar to the switching of the jerseys that they do in the NBA.
Yeah, but just a thing that you can, and because I think so much in sports, people are tied into the like, I'm going to do this interview, I'm going to say the same thing. I'm not
Yes.
really going to give you much of anything. I'm just here. It's the Marshawn Lynch, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. But it's like, how do you get them to open up to you and be different? And it was like the thing we learned about the baseball cards was that no matter who you were, if you opened up a pack of baseball cards, it took you back to a time in your life
Yes, sir.
where you were a kid, you were a fan,
Right.
and you weren't just some guy that got paid
That's
$10
true.
million to play a game, right?
That's
You
true.
were like, this is, I remember this when I was a kid.
That's true.
So,
And at times we need that in our life, right? To feel that again and know what that feels like, and be able to just no worries and have a little
I
fun.
think no matter what you do, there's a nostalgia to it.
Yes.
Even the most successful people, people that are millionaires upon millionaires,
Right.
they still have something to look back at when they were a kid and be
That's
like, oh
true.
man, I loved when we used to do this.
Right. Right.
And I think if you can hit them in that place,
Right.
and one of the things I learned early on, which I mean, funny again, I kind of was always doing things differently. First of all, I'm always been into rap music, right?
Yes.
So growing up in the Bay Area, you kind of had to be. But one of my
E40 fan.
so yes, but like actually my favorite Vallejo rapper is Mac Mall.
Oh, all right.
So
all right. I hear it. Paul.
But I went to I was covering this. It was like a Warriors preseason game. They were playing the Portland Trailblazers. I was still in college.
Okay.
And I wanted to go talk to Rasheed Wallace, right?
Right.
And at that point, E40 had just dissed Rasheed Wallace in that Record Hater song, and he had gotten
And that
kicked
was
out
a
of.
serious feud.
Yeah,
back
that
then.
was the real thing. But it was like you don't hear a lot of like NBA players getting called out by
True.
rappers, right?
True.
And so I just was like, he got kicked out of the game. It was a preseason game, so it didn't even matter. And he's like, I don't want to talk to anybody and whatever. He was a pretty good star at that point.
Yes, sir.
And I was just like, hey, man, I'll talk to you about music, though. And he's
Right.
like, oh, yeah, let's talk. And we just talked for like 10 minutes about rap and stuff. But it's like, so I learned there that if you give people something different than what they're expecting,
Yes.
they're going to be into it.
100%.
Yeah.
No, 100%. No, that was, man, you definitely going back in time. That was an interesting time. That actually, caught a fire and went on for quite some time, man.
And now it's all intermingled. But, at that time, there was more division between, sports and rapper. I mean, they'd all kind of always worked in the same world, but like at that point, it was like, I think it's always true that the, rappers want to be athletes and athletes want to be rappers.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we got that from Shaquille O'Neal, right?
Yeah. And Lil Wayne, right? Lil Wayne just wants to be a sportscaster.
Right. No, that is so true. So man, Mike, here it is, man, a lifelong dream. You go into, being a writer, letting people know what's going on in sports and life, entertainment. And then one day you just decide.
I didn't decide.
You had a vision.
I didn't decide. One day the company decided, sorry, we don't have use for you anymore.
Oh, man. We've
no,
been through that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And I mean, Fresno Street Eats had sort of existed,
Okay.
We probably might jump ahead a little bit, but like Taco Truck Throwdown was like the first thing that I did.
Yes.
And we did that. That was like a Fresno Bee collaboration with the Fresno Grizzlies. So that's kind of where that came
Which
from.
was huge.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So Fresno Street Eats kind of was born out of that a few years later, and we were just doing events here and there. So I had Fresno Street Eats going, and I got a Yahoo is I worked at home mostly,
Okay.
but we had offices in New York and we had offices in LA.
Okay.
And I got one of those like 7 a.m. West Coast emails about, hey, we're gonna have this meeting in 2 hours or whatever. And I was like, man, nobody in my world works that early.
Right.
This is weird. What's gonna happen? And in those 2 hours, I pieced together. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get laid off. I know that's what
You felt it.
I have a feeling this was gonna happen. We got the kids off to school, and my wife and I just sat there and said, okay, like, how can we make this work? Like, what happens now?
Right.
And we kind of worked through like, okay, here's the plan. Here's what's gonna happen. The funny thing was like, if they didn't lay me off, then I'm like, what happens if they're just like, hey, we want to talk to you about this idea? But no, they laid me off. And so we kind of had like, okay, no, and credit to my wife, she's like, no, I believe in you. I believe in this idea. And
shout out to Mrs. Oz.
Yeah,
We appreciate you.
Tanya. And when I tell you that I did not waste a moment. Like, again, it was like 9 a.m. our time, right?
Yes, sir.
I had a meeting. I did that. I was using I didn't have a computer, right? Because they give me a computer.
Right.
So the first thing I did was go to Best Buy, buy
sir.
my own computer, because I'm like, I can't use your computer
Right.
anymore because I'm breaking the law or something.
Yes, sir.
Bought my own computer. I had a meeting at Table Mountain that day at 1 o'clock.
Same day. Wow.
I don't think I've taken a day off really since. But it's like I knew that I got to seize this moment right now, right? Like if I if I sit around and feel sorry for myself,
Right.
or if I, you know, have time to tell myself
Yes.
that I failed, or I had this dream and then I lost my dream, or
Correct.
whatever it was, that
There was no time for
I was
that.
gonna get sad, or I was gonna get depressed, or I was gonna get whatever. It's like, nah, no time.
Right.
Like, hustle, go. You
100%.
know?
And that's what you did.
Yeah.
And from there it was on.
I mean, it's been, we were talking about this before we turned the mics on, but like, just the idea of sometimes you get thrust into those situations, you don't have a
Yes.
choice, right?
That's true.
And I don't know that I would have jumped out the window on my own.
Right.
But when you get pushed out the window,
Yeah, that's a different
you
story.
know, you
Right.
gotta you gotta figure it out.
And you got to literally grab your own parachute.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Figure out a way to land on your feet before you hit the floor.
Man, that's an amazing story, man. I mean, that's 12 o'clock East Coast, 9 o'clock West Coast, and 1 o'clock you on.
Yeah, let's go.
That's amazing. So, man, Mike, what is when you have the vision, what's the purpose that pushed the vision?
So I guess to go backwards a little bit, we were doing Street Eats as like a once a month event, right? And it was
Okay.
just kind of we were doing taco truck throwdown, and then we had all these other food trucks that wanted to do stuff. And I was like, the only thing I have is this taco event.
Right.
And then Fresyes
That was
came
once a
along.
year.
Yeah, once a year.
Okay.
Then we started doing Fresyes, and it was like, okay, well, I have this other once a year event. And then we started doing tacos, brews, and jams, which is another taco event.
Right.
So we had other trucks that were like looking for things to do, and I'm like, okay, well, then what if we did this Fresno Street Eats event once a month? We did it at Tioga,
Okay.
and each time there was a theme, so we would just come up with, and we still do these. We're probably on, a ton of them now, but the first one was bacon night. Then we did like loaded fries. We just did our heart shaped last week. We have
Okay.
in the bag coming up was the next one. So we just started doing those, and we're like, okay, cool. And then that transitioned to, hey, let's do an art hop. So we did an
Right.
art hop, and so this is all kind of going a little bit already. And we had just had food trucks that just wanted to do stuff, and I think they liked the idea that you could go and do something that's a little different.
Yes.
In that time, I mean, going backwards, I mean, there was maybe like 10 food trucks in town that weren't taco trucks, and there was like 2 or 3 places for them to go. So when I started to think about what we could do and how we could create this business,
Right.
it was about finding more places.
Okay.
More places for people to go. And I thought about there's a few trucks that live in my head in terms of like I'm trying to help these specific people because
Yes.
I knew them, right?
Yes.
And it's like if you like there's a truck in town called Where's the Food? They pioneers. Um, I would say at this point probably good friends of mine. We've been through a lot.
Yes, sir.
Henry from Where's the
Where's the
Food?
Food?
He just lost his wife.
Oh,
He
wow.
did a GoFundMe for them, and and all this
Right.
kind of stuff. And so I think of them. I would think of them a lot, and I'm like, okay, you guys sit out in this corner, on the weekends,
Yes.
and you can only really make money on Friday and Saturday, maybe Sunday. How do we get you to make money on Wednesday? How do we get you to make money on Thursday? How do we get you to make money, during lunch on a Wednesday? And these
Yes,
things
sir.
like because if you can only do business 2 days a week, 3 days a week, you're not going to function as
That's
well.
correct.
So that was kind of the mentality, and I would think about them, right? And the little things that I would think of as wins would be like, Henry and Lita don't got to work on the weekends anymore. They can go and they can go on vacation with their kids,
Right.
because they're making enough money Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that they
To-
would be making, Friday and Saturday
That's-
otherwise, and they can go
that's
do other
huge.
stuff. And so that's sort of how I would think about those things. And then it's like, okay, well, how do we build this location? How do we build a program over here? And how do we become a resource for, Fresno City College, or we do a lot with Fresno County, like the Department of Social Services campus. We have a spot over there we do every single day. And how do we help these, create a thing for the people that work there,
Yes.
and then also do something to help the trucks. So it's like seeing, the parts of the puzzle,
Right.
and then figuring out how they all fit into making a picture.
Wow. Man, that's amazing. It's almost like putting an MLB team together.
Not quite, but it is.
See,
But it
that's
is seeing,
complex.
how do you, seeing a need, right? Seeing a business need,
Right.
and then saying how can we use these things that are out there to benefit both sides.
Yes, sir. And then let's segue into, being a leader, founder of Fresno Street Eats. Man, how did those struggles turn into wins?
I think the biggest thing for me was that I was not ever thought I was going to do any of this, right? I didn't go to business school. I don't have, any at all education in what it's like to run a business. Everything I learned, again, looking back,
Yes.
I probably learned watching my grandpa, right?
Correct.
And working in his motor shop and seeing some of that, and then being around, um, people in journalism. So one of the things I did a lot of, and I actually enjoyed it, was profiling local businesses, right? And going
Right.
in and writing a story about, I don't know, somebody who was starting a thing
Yes.
and learning about their business. And I always felt like I did a pretty good job of that, and like understanding people, like, okay, talking to them about, like, okay, why are you doing this? How are you doing this? And I think I just picked up on a
Yes,
lot of
sir.
those things. And I talked to a lot of people that did events right over the years because I was writing about their events and figuring out, okay, this is how you do events.
Right.
This is how you keep them exciting. And so just, I think I inadvertently learned a lot about these things. So that was a challenge, right? Just sort of figuring all that out. And then, as any business owner will tell you, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that is harder than you think. Like,
Yes.
there's the creative parts, or the parts that you like,
Right.
and then there's the paperwork, and then there's the
Oh
HR
yeah.
type stuff, and then
Oh, yeah.
there's the finding good help, and
Right.
then there's, the ideas where you have employees, but for whatever reason they all want to be off on the same day. Like those things are real,
True.
and you don't,
True.
like,
And it
you don't,
falls back on you.
and you don't get it, you don't anticipate those situations necessarily in the beginning. And it's to me, like, figuring out how to manage all these different things,
Yes.
and to be everything to everybody, and to make everybody feel like I'm there to help them, when there's only one of me,
Right.
right? And there's 100 people that I'm accountable to. And as much as I really try, I think, there's times where, um, I can't make everybody happy,
That's
right?
true. That's
And
true.
I'm, if I'm awake, more than likely, if you're somebody we do business with, and you text me or whatever, I will try to get back to you as soon as I can.
Right.
If I'm awake. But
And remember that if he's awake. Don't take it
I
personal.
do go to bed pretty early
Right.
sometimes, but I do wake up pretty early. So sometimes people will text me at like 11,
Yeah.
like I'm out.
Yeah, you out.
But you might get a response from me at 4 in the morning.
Right.
So, but it's like manage how do you manage all those things, right? And like, journalism was such a, this thing happened, I need to write about it, and I need to be done with it right now.
Yes.
And boom, done. Okay,
Right.
next thing.
Correct.
And
Can't
this
sleep on it.
this is more like, you got multiple things, you got to balance them all, and it's like, okay, I do this real quick. Oh man, but this just happened. I need to handle that right
Yes.
now, and I can come back to that thing because that's not super important. Oh man, but I just got this phone call. Okay, that's more important than this thing,
Right.
and it's just all day long that.
Wow, man. I mean, you're talking about going from being a journalist and, running, what is, I would consider a massive business, man. I mean, that's amazing. You created your own nucleus.
I like to think that we built like an ecosystem
Yes.
for food trucks.
Right.
Like, giving them all of these things to survive, and trying to use strength in numbers, right?
Yes.
Because I would often say that if you're a single food truck and you say, hey, River Park, can I come park my food truck out here on a Saturday?
Right.
They're going to say no.
100%.
If I go to River Park and I say, hey, we got 100,000 followers, we have this great lineup of people, we have good ideas, we have good content, we have all this stuff.
Right.
We could be a partner to you. Can we come out here on Saturdays, and we'll bring 50 local businesses with us? And they're like, yeah.
That's a good partnership.
Strength in numbers,
Right,
right? Or when we go to, we had a pretty good partnership for a while with Exhibit Supply.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys, shout out to Jeff if he's around here. He was in Fresno for a while, and I think he's back in the Bay now. But it was like, he did
We're going
all
back
the
to the
branded
Bay.
tents and stuff, right? So I was like, hey, anybody that comes to me from you, what's the best deal you can give them?
Right.
Right. And so it was like, I'll send all of my people to you for tents. And he's like, I'll give them all like $300-400 off. And I was like, cool, there you go.
Oh.
So just advantages of like the strength in numbers,
Yes,
and it was
yes.
the same thing of going out and finding deals for t-shirts and whatever. Go call this guy and say you're with Fresno Street Eats, he'll take care of you.
Wow, that's amazing, man. So, I mean, not only strength in numbers, but you create a family and a
I think so.
network.
I think so. But again, I think back to like my grandpa at his motor shop being like, if we buy 20 motors,
Yes.
it's cheaper than if we buy 2 motors.
True.
Right?
Right.
And understanding those kind of things.
Right. And there's definitely
Yeah.
strength in numbers,
Yeah.
man. And you know, when you think about that, I mean, that's something also picked up on being a journalist, right?
Yeah.
You know, things you always, wrote about
Yeah.
as far as those numbers and the strength of, the fans that it brought, based on the narrative of those stories.
And part of the journalism thing is knowing what people respond to, what people like.
Right.
And
That's
it's like
true.
people are into that. Okay, well, how do we build an event around that?
Right.
You know.
Man, so Mike, talk to us about where's the farthest you've been coming from Fresno? Where's the farthest you sent a group of food trucks?
Probably, because most of what we do revolves in Fresno County,
Okay.
right?
And that's
But
pretty big.
yeah,
We talking
I would
about
say
6,000 square miles?
I don't even know.
Yeah, man, Fresno
I'm
County.
not good at geography. Probably like we've done stuff down in like Bakersfield. We've done
Okay.
stuff up in Merced.
Okay.
We're gonna do something up in Sac this year, so that's probably be the farthest.
Oh wow, what's the event?
So last year we ended up doing all the concerts, those Luke Bryan concerts that he did.
Right.
So the one in Clovis, there was one in Atwater, and there's one in Bakersfield or Shafter.
Okay.
So this year they're coming back and we're doing all those, and there's one in Sacramento, one in Clovis, and one in Shafter. So
wow. Man, you hear it, Sacramento. Man, so man, we got some of the freshest food trucks. That's gonna be there.
I try to send the Fresno trucks out to these things too.
Right.
Right? Like go up there and show them what it's about.
So we might be able to get Mike from Planet Vegan to drive out there.
Maybe
Right.
you think the country people eat vegan burgers, Mike?
Yeah, that definitely is a question. That definitely is a question for Mike. Hey, you can't tell the difference. You know what he's gonna have to do is just tape off the vegan part. All they need to see is Planet. If he do that, it's gonna sell. Cause I mean, you literally can't tell.
Eat those fries, man.
Right. Oh yeah, no man, those fries are fulfilling. No, that's most definitely. So, man, what's the future of Fresno Street Eats, Mike?
Well, again, I'm always trying to like think of new things, right? So the next thing that we are trying to do is create a way for people to order all of the stuff from the food trucks in advance.
Okay.
Right. So you can order ahead, skip the line, show up.
I like it.
Grab your food. I think especially we do a lot of lunches.
About doing e-commerce.
Huh? And we do a lot of like where we go and everybody's got like 30 minutes for work to get their lunch, right?
That's
hospitals
true.
and colleges and medical buildings and all that kind of stuff. So, if you only got a little bit of time, you don't want to wait in line. And so building that out and then having the idea that, we have this brand name. And so even if you're not a truck that's out at one of our events, but you're just wherever you're at and you want to be on the Fresno Street Eats app,
right?
The people can find you that way.
Oh, hey, hold on. You got your own app?
That's what we're building.
Oh, wow.
That's what we're building. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Shout out working with Joe Allen from
man.
This company's 2UR LLC.
I like it.
So yeah, it's coming soon.
It's coming soon. This year, 2026.
That's the plan.
You heard it.
We want to get into
first
some
on
go ahead.
For the culture.
Yeah, first time I'm talking about it.
Yes, sir.
We want to get into some new festivals. Like we don't really do a lot of events that are ticketed where, you usually you just come and it's free and you just get whatever you want. Like Taco Truck Throwdown is because that's like a concert, right?
Right.
But what I want to try to do this year is some events where it's like you pay your $50, let's say, and then your $50 comes with 10 food samples, a couple of beers, like those types of things, right? Where it's like a themed thing.
Sign me up.
So mac and cheese, right? You come in and you get your, there's 10 different mac and cheese dishes to go try, and you get a couple drink tickets and, so some stuff like that. So
man, talking about mac and cheese, you heard about that tuna mac lady? Man, she came to town and killed it.
I saw Mike from Planet Vegan talking about it. That's how I heard about it.
Right. Yeah, I think he liked it.
It's almost like he's here in the room with us.
Right. I hear he's a fan. I guess he might be giving up the vegan and going with the tuna. He's incorporating the tuna. He does a few strips.
Maybe that's the only animal he'll get down with.
Right, I know.
Hey, he was already. So his episode was before mine, and just to be real, he's the one who told me to come do this.
Oh man, and we appreciate.
So he didn't get to talk about it because I think it happened. Unless he didn't, you guys didn't cut this one out yet, but they just got recognized from PETA.
Wow, man, that's huge.
Shout out Planet Vegan.
Hey, man, can you explain to the people what is PETA?
People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals is the
Right.
acronym. So
Wow.
they recognize companies that are being ethical to animals,
Wow.
and Planet Vegan is one of them.
Out of
Like a
Fresno. It's a national.
nationwide list.
That's huge. Wow.
And
Man, Mike from
it's always
Planet
great to
Vegan.
see Fresno things get
Yes.
recognized on a national level.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen often, but we're
It
out
doesn't.
there.
But there's really good things that happen here, and
Yes.
there's a lot of great things that happen here that people don't even recognize,
That's
or
true.
people that started here and made something happen somewhere else. But
Yes.
Fresno was a part of them.
Yes. No, that is so true.
Yeah.
And so, man, Mike, would you like to share, with the people of any upcoming events that we should look out for?
Well, Fresyes Fest is our next big one.
Okay.
Right, March the 21st. That's our big.
2026.
Yeah, that's the big downtown Fresno festival.
Yes.
We bring out
Huge.
like we get 25,000 people out there.
Wow.
So that's a big one. That's the next big one, and then obviously we got Taco Truck Throwdown coming. November 2026.
Man, what artists is you bringing in? Now we circling back. You share how you was big in the hip hop and now you have something going that includes it. I love it.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man. We kind of work with Tequila Fest, right?
Okay.
And Tequila Fest too. I think it was last year. They brought in a couple people. I wanted 2 years ago. I wanted Juvenile for Taco Truck Throwdown. I felt like the time was right for Juvenile, and then they went and booked Juvenile for Tequila Fest and Ludacris, and I was like, we should bring Ludacris.
Oh man,
that
was a good combination.
You know what I've been saying forever? I don't think it's ever going to happen. I want Hammer.
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer.
Hey, he'll come.
Puts on a great show, man.
Yeah, he'll come.
Puts on a great show.
Yeah, he'll come. Especially with those pants.
I want. I really want Belle Biv DeVoe one year.
Oh, that'll be nice.
That'd be cool.
But you want to take it back.
Yeah.
Right. I like that.
The wild thing is, if you look at the concert market now, all the stuff that we're doing, a lot of people are doing it now.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can't compete necessarily with the casinos,
right,
and the fair, and the back when we were like, let's get Cypress Hill, let's get Warren G, let's get DJ Quick, let's get whatever.
Oh man, DJ Quick.
Yeah. So I think we're trying to get a little more creative. Like last year, was cool, man. Like bringing out some different. We kind of went back right with SOS Band. It was like we went further back than like the 90s. We went back to like the 70s. So I think stuff like that.
And they got to follow.
Yeah, no, they did.
They got to follow. Man, listen to that cleaning house.
Yeah. Right. So I think it's always a mix. It's always an idea of like things that people are familiar with.
Yes.
But hopefully something that surprises them a little bit.
Right.
So, it's like E40, and love E40, but we also brought you the SOS Band.
Yeah.
And just kind of
true.
Yeah. Little something little something that surprises you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big surprise.
People loved it. Actually. People loved it.
So I take it that you are thinking of bringing a surprise this go around.
I think it's always just figuring out how do we keep people on their toes. Like that year we did Ramon Ayala and DJ Quick. I mean, that just blew people away, right? And it's like we can't just go and try to duplicate, like just change. Like the same thing, but let's just change out different people. It's like no, you got to come up with another idea, another creative idea. And shout out to the whole team because it's not just me. Sam is super creative dude.
Right.
Ray.
Sam.
Yeah, Ray from our team, man, super creative, knows a ton about music. So
okay.
We got people that help in a number of ways.
The playlist.
So we try to keep it fun.
Yes, man, and I know people are definitely going to be looking forward to it.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
For sure.
So, man, any words to the young that currently in school, college, high school, want to become an entrepreneur? Well, what advice would you like to share with them?
One that we talk. I'll reiterate the one that I had about if you have an internship or a job, or do as many different things as you can.
Yes.
So that's one. The other one that I'm a real big fan of is I think the biggest skill that you can have, no matter what you do, is being able to think on your feet. Like understanding that as an entrepreneur or in any real job, right? Like
that's key. Something
is always going to go wrong.
Right.
And everybody can do something when it's just a plan and you got to follow the plan.
Right.
What separates people is what do you do when the plan gets messed up?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
What do you do in the moment when it's like, oh shit, this didn't happen the way I'm sorry, I don't know if I can say shit.
No, you're good.
What happens when things didn't go according to plan? do you fall apart and not know what to do, or do you rise to the occasion and try to figure it out?
Yes.
And I think that's like the biggest thing. And unfortunately, you can't learn that in a book, right? You got
Correct.
to learn it by
Experience.
messing something up
Right.
and figuring out how to get better.
Yes.
But that's one of the biggest things, man. That's one of the things like I always try to impart on people is like if you figure out how to be great in the moment
Yes.
and make good decisions in the moment
Right.
and understand that sometimes you're going to mess up, but you got to do your best.
100%.
And you can't hide from mistakes, right? You gotta face them. You gotta figure out how to get better.
Own it.
And I'll be honest with you, man. Some of the mistakes that I've made, problems that we've had with Fresno Street Eats,
Yes, sir.
uh, you know, I try to take that stuff on the chin and be like, nah, that's our fault. We messed up.
Right.
And people respect that.
Yes.
Right. Instead of making excuses, instead of being like, oh well, it wasn't really my fault because da 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 da. No, it's like, yeah, we messed up.
Yes.
Here's how we're gonna do better. Here's how we're gonna make it up to you. And we've had people who have turned into loyal partners because they see accountability
Yes, sir.
instead of excuses.
Right.
So you got to be accountable. You got to
Something we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be able to know when to suck it up and say, yeah,
Yes.
here's what we did wrong, but here's how we're gonna fix it. Here's how we're gonna do better. And people like that. I mean, we were talking about this before we started too. I think so much of what today is like modern times in terms of
Right.
business is like it's just the people you deal with, right?
100%.
And so if you're an authentic person and you're, people can tell if you are, full of shit or if you're real. And if you're
Right.
real and people sense that you're trying your best
Yes.
and you want to be a good partner, like that stuff is obvious.
That's
And
facts.
they can tell when somebody's just
Full of it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just be
Right.
real. Just be authentic. Own your mistakes. Celebrate your wins, but celebrate them with the people who help you.
Yes, sir.
Those are all important things.
And include them.
Yeah.
Yeah, include them.
Yeah. I mean,
Man.
shout out, everybody who, like, nobody does it on their own, right?
That's true.
So
That's true.
acknowledge the
Takes a
people
village.
acknowledge the people who help you. Because I definitely didn't get here
By yourself.
on my own, man.
Right.
You know.
Man, Mike, we so appreciate you. We appreciate those gems you done dropped on us all. And which, I'm going to even take that and carry it with me because it's so true.
It's true.
You're absolutely right about being authentic.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
people can feel and sense and accountability, man, that's huge. I think that's probably one of the biggest things right now that is being discussed in so many fashions.
And I think, I mean, not to go totally sidetrack us, but on the, in a world of, where you can't tell anymore what's AI and what's real and what's
Correct.
like, I think the ability to be a real, genuine person is going to set people apart in
100%.
in the coming years.
That is
It's
so
like
true.
being able to hold a conversation,
Right.
being able to look someone in the eye and talk to them and listen, not even just like talk to them, but listen.
Yes.
And hear what they're saying and have a conversation and have a give and take.
Yes.
All that stuff is going to be, I think, super important.
No, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Man, no, I thank you sincerely,
sure.
man. We
Thanks for
thank you
having me.
for coming on
Thanks for having
for the Culture Podcast,
happy to
and
be
we're
here.
so honored that you made time for us today within your busy schedule, and looking forward to having.
I mean, it is almost my bedtime, man. So,
Yeah, I know. Well, man, and shout out to Mike from Planet Vegan for making this happen, and hopefully we get to have both of you on an episode together.
There you go.
Man,
Down.
hey, you have a good one.
You too, man. Thank you.
Appreciate
All
Yes,
right.
sir.